One user defined data type, that is array. Now second one is structure. So these are the array and structure are called as user defined data type. That means we are going to create this kind of data type, or rather we are going to manipulate a basic data type and we are going to create a new data type according to our program or according to our task. So that is why it is called as user defined data type. And so before learning this structure, we should know the basic data types are again three, that is integer, float, character. Using this integer, float, character, we are going to use a structure. So starting with the first part, that is structure definition. So structure is what? What mean by structure? Earlier we have seen array is a collection of homogeneous data type. That means similar data type, either integer, either collection of all integer, either collection of all float, either collection of all character, we can club in a single data type called array. So suppose we want to create a data type called array in that contains 60 elements, or 60 elements were integers. Now here we are going to create another data type that contains not only integer, that will contain a mix of all basic data type. That means it can either contain integer, float, or character. That means we can club integer, float, character in a single data type called as a structure. So structure is a collection of heterogeneous data type. That means integer, float, character can be clubbed in a user defined data type called as a structure. In an array, we have clubbed only single data type. That means we have collected only integers, or only float, or only character. Here we can take all three basic data type and make a new user defined data type called as a structure. So suppose we want to make an example, certain example, like we want to collect the data of all students of class 60. That data contains a roll number, sex, that is male, female, and his or her percentage marks. So suppose these are the three data information we need to collect from all 60 students. First data type was roll number. So roll number is we can consider as a integer data type. Then sex, it could be male or female. So we can need to input the information, either we have to write yum or yup. So now to input this kind of male, female, that is yum or yup, we need to consider this data type as a character data type. And last part, that is information regarding the percentage mark. That percentage mark are always considered as a fraction values. Whenever we are going to store a fraction value, we need to consider as a float. So these different information can be clubbed in a single data type called as a structure. So three information of one student, likewise all these three information of the all 60 students can be considered as a 160, that could be 180, 16 to 3, that is 180 information we need to store. So that 180 information or 180 different elements can be clubbed in a single data type called as a structure. Earlier, before the array and structure, we need to define 180 different data types of integer, float, character for writing this information or the storing this information. So that can be avoided, or that can be written in a single data type called as a structure, where we can club all mixed data type in a single user defined data. Okay, so one example or one syntax we have written here, that is structure can be defined as a the word struct, this is a keyword we have to write after that particular word struct, then we have to write a name of structure. So suppose in this example we have make a name of structure as a part. In the part, as a structure type or data type, in that contain three different data types. That would be the first model number, part number, and cost. So this model number, part number, and cost is a part of structure called part. So in the part, as a structure, contain again three basic data type, that is the integer, model number, integer, part number, and float. as a cost. So okay, so three different information we have clubbed in the particular data type called as a structure. So same example I need to explain again, that is, suppose we have to collect the data of all students like roll number, sex and percentage mark collectively in a single data type. Then just I mentioned roll number will be the integer data type, sex male or female would be considered as a character data type, and percentage mark would be considered as a float data type. Earlier we have clubbed roll numbers, that is roll numbers and percentage as the same data type in a homogeneous data type called as array. So either we can club all roll numbers or we can club all information on the percentage. So suppose we consider all roll numbers and percentage as a single data type, then we can collect these information in a single data type. So that's why it is a array will be called as a homogeneous data type. Now here we need to collect all different data types, that is heterogeneous. So obviously roll number, sex and percentage marks are different data types, that is integer, character and float. So that can be clubbed in a single form called as a structure. Okay, I have taken one example, particularly if we need to input the information regarding the student of the roll number, percentage marks and sex. So the first part, again we have to define a certain files that we have to include directly, that is include iostream.h, include iomanip and include conio.h. These are the header files that can be used for the different functions we going to use in the program directly. So iostream.h for the input output function, iomanip is for manipulator function, conio that is graphic function, certain result we want to display on a particular screen. For that purpose we need to include these kind of header files. So obviously if we need a certain mathematical operation, we can include a math.h. So before starting the program we have to write a structure syntax. So we have make a structure called struct part. We can write any name of the particular structure. We can write struct class or struct sy BTECH or the struct sy also. So depending on the which program you are making and which task we are going to solve, according to that give a name to the structure. So obviously same rules are applied for the naming a structure also. That's 4 rules. The first should be character, there should not be blank space, there should not be any special character, and only one special character allowed would be the underscore. No blank space would be allowed. Same rules are allowed. Rules are applied for the naming of the structure also, that we have defined in the naming of the variable, naming of the array and naming of the different classes also. Okay, so we have written a struct called a name called part, struct part. Then we have defined we have clubbed 3 different data types called roll number, percentage and sex. So we need to add this information of a single student. So for single student we have made one structure called as a part. In that we are going to include a roll number, percentage and sex. So these are the integer, float, character. So these are the different data types. So we can add a n number of data types here in structure. So after writing the structure we have to complete a curly bracket and we have to write semicolon. Then we start a main program that will start with a void main as regular we have defined. Then the first part will be the number of variables used in a program. So according to I have written only that data type. You can include another data type if it is used in a program. So first line would be this program will be simple. We need to add the information regarding the single student. We can use a for loop for the input of all 60 students. So the first line would be the input the data of the students roll number wise. So obviously we have to input the data particular roll number, percentage and sex sequentially. So roll number, percentage and sex, that also we have to define in a cout statement. Here I have missed that. the sequence of the roll number, percentage and sex. In that way we have to input the data. So we have used a for loop that will be starting from I is equal to 1 to I is equal to less than and equal to 60 I plus plus. So it would be incremented by 1. So this information would be stored in the particular program using a cin statement. Cin part in square bracket I dot roll number, part I dot percentage, part I dot sex. So initially it would be part 1. So that would be information regarding the first data of roll number in a part 1. Part 1, the percentage, that will be second information. Part 1, sex, that means third data type in a part 1. So this will be part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4 up to part 6. Part is a what? Part is, again we have to remember that part is a structure. The part is structure, and again part, that particular structure contain these 3 data types. So in this way, in this particular for loop, we can input a different data or different information of a single student in a one structure. So okay, so that would be a completion of the input of the data. Now we have to display the particular structure. To display structure, again we have to need to use a for loop. If it is a single data or single student information, we need not to write to the particular for loop. Obviously we are going to use for the n number of structure element, we are going to make a n number of structure element. That's why we are to use a for loop. So again for loop will be starting from I is equal to 1, I is equal to less than equal to 60, I plus plus. So these are the 3 different data types are again that we have to display using a cout statement. So obviously that is to be displayed on a particular screen. So that's why I have written /n/t/e. Again we have to write /n also in a first line. After /n we have displayed part I roll number. Again in a cout statement, part I percentage. Again I have written part I sex. So this way the data will be displayed. So obviously we can manipulate this particular information of the roll number, percentage, sex with each other in a structure. But simple program we have taken that consists of input of this data and again output of this data. Obviously these are the information for the how to write a structure. We have defined a simple structure, then we have input the different information in a structure, and we have displayed the data of the structure. So obviously structure is the most important part in a C++ because it would be the similar part what we are going to study, a classes and object. Classes are similar, same, just like structure, but it also include a certain function. So instead of this particular data type, that also include a function. When we are going to make a certain classes and objects, we are going to make or we are going to add a certain functions plus data type. It would be called as a classes. Okay, thank you.